The Padres are making some headlines here. Talking baseball. Yeah, it's spring training. We're allowed to talk baseball. The business of baseball. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to get paid. So Manny Machado made some waves this spring, and if you had not been following along, the third baseman had 6 years remaining on his contract, the one he originally signed way back in 2019. I barely remember that. Way back before the pandemic in 2019. Now, earlier this month, and just days ago, he let the baseball world know that he was not happy, and he wanted to get paid more money. Pay me more money. That's what Machado said. And he was going to opt out of his contract and possibly leave the Padres after the 2023 season. He said, so far, this is a quote, so far this year, I'm a Padre. But who knows next year, is what Manny Machado told reporters. That was on February 17th. February 17th, he made that decree. He said, obviously the team knows where I stand, my situation with the opt-out coming. And he went on and said, I think I've expressed that I will be opting out after this year, but my focus is not about 2024. Wink, wink, nod, nod. So we have had a resolution to the Manny Machado drama-o-rama. If I ran the Padres, I would have traded his fat ass back to the Orioles. I would have said, get out of here. Of course, he makes too much money for the Orioles to pay for. But if you've not heard, maybe not, we have learned the Padres have genuflected to Manny Machado and that the deal is all but done, crossing the T's, dotting the I's. 11-year extension with the San Diego baseball team worth $350 million. There are no opt-outs, zero in the new contract, no opt-out, full no trade clause for Manny Machado, who will stay in San Diego until he breaks down. Inevitably, that happens. And then who knows what happens after that. So the question, put a letter grade on the Manny Machado contract extension. So we'll start with Machado on the Mather scorecard. Manny Machado gets an A+++ for Manny Machado. Now, the Padres, I'm going to go higher than I normally would for the Padres. The Padres go C-. I'm going C- for the Padres. I'll explain why in a minute. I've got parlor, piano, mobilization, and dentist. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a televangelist. For some reason, I'm looking up at one of my TVs here, and there's a televangelist on my TV in the studio. Maybe I should open up my checkbook and send him some money or something like that. I don't know. What are we breaking that down? Who put that on there? I just looked up, and there's a guy preaching.
Thank you, Jesus!
Oh, isn't that the guy in Houston that wouldn't let the homeless people in during the flood or whatever? Wasn't that the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy. All right. Anyway, so number one.
Number one.
All right. Manny Machado, listen, take a victory lap, take a bow, do what you have to do. You played the system. Congratulations. What a couple of weeks, not even a couple of weeks, in the Arizona desert. Less than 10 days. Lazy spring training, and he turns into a train heist in the Arizona desert for Manny Machado. He and his agent, Dan Lozano, just presented a master class. These guys played the Padres like a parlor piano. They did. They did. It's embarrassing for the Padres. But Machado, he shows up to camp, does some old-fashioned saber rattling, and within 10 days, San Diego ownership tears up his contract and gives him a percentage of the tolls on the express lanes of I-15. It's nuts. It's Machado, we've said this before. We talked about this 10 days ago when the story popped up. He would rather play on the East Coast. When he was traded to the Dodgers a few years back, he didn't want to play for the Dodgers. He wanted to play for a team on the East Coast. He wanted to play for, preferably, a team in New York. But he's a businessman. The baby-faced assassin has followed the yellow brick road, and it is in San Diego. where you can get a fish taco in one hand and a big fat contract in the other. It's Padre baseball. He's got another Mega Millions contract. What is he, A-Rod, getting two $300 million contracts? So it's an A+++ deal for Machado. He's 31. He had $150 million large left on his contract, and he threatens to leave, and the Padres cower to his demands, and they end up giving him $350 million. So he clears an extra $200 million. What a windfall. What a bonanza for Manny Machado. Now, page 2, how do you appraise this deal for the San Diego baseball team on that side of things? So the Mallet report card, I go higher than normal. I give the Padres a C-, and the main reason why I'm giving the Padres a C- is because they continue to make a mockery of Major League Baseball supposedly poor teams. And they are ruffling feathers. Shout out, you scumbags of the Oakland Athletics and the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Miami Marlins and the Orioles and the Rays and all these penny-pinching frauds. So from that perspective, I love that the Padres are doing this, and they're obviously a rival of the Dodgers, and I like the Dodgers. You know, I got my start in radio in San Diego, and I used to go to Padre games. One of their many fire sales, which I laugh at looking back at it, because they had like the great late Tony Gwynn surrounded by a bunch of minor leaguers because they had to trade all these guys away because they couldn't afford them because they were in little San Diego. And here we are all these years later, and the Padres are doing the monster mash, flexing like they're the Mets or the Red Sox or the Dodgers with what they've been doing here. And San Diego, it's a loss leader, this contract. Right? The Padres are going to lose money based on the performance of Machado. But we say this all the time. These contracts are terrible. Teams continue to do them. Machado, you got to look at it a little different. He's a drawing card to a point, but how many people are really going out because of Machado specifically to watch? Not many. The Padres are in it to win it. There's no cutting corners here. They're down for some frivolous spending. They're doing it like the Red Sox and the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees do. It's an arms race in baseball. Mobilization. You're scrambling to get as many big weapons as you can, and they're stockpiling tanks and missiles and fighter jets and three-headed fire-breathing dragons and lining up the nuclear warheads, and you got to keep up with the Joneses. So Machado's deal, 10 years, $350 million. So $35 million per year, give or take. But the reality is not that, as people in baseball like to tell me every time I do this monologue ripping these contracts. They say, Ben, that's not how we look at it. It's not really a 10-year contract for $350 million, $35 per. It's a 5-year contract for $70 million per year. And anything that Machado does after that is gravy. But all it really is a 5-year contract. But we can't say that. We're going to spread out. Instead of just paying him over 5, we'll pay him over 10. Okay. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Final point. So what does this what does this deal do, Machado's contract, do for the hostilities between the owners? We're going to talk more about this in a future hour, but a preview of future attractions, right? This has the tightwad owners at the bottom of Major League Baseball, the pay structure, who are pounding the table saying, it's not fair. Right. They need to see a dentist. Why? Because they're grinding their teeth, these people. They're very upset. Pirates, Orioles, A's, Reds, Marlins, clowns. These team owners are in a tizzy right now. They're sweating bullets. They're squirming and grunting like a newborn baby. And I will guarantee you that these people come out and say, well, I'm going to tell you right now, the Padres they're a bad example, and they're going to lose millions and millions of dollars, and they're not going to win. And I'll tell you why, though, because the Padres are crossing the aisle. They are breaking ranks. They are. They're upsetting the drill sergeant overseeing the poverty franchises, the alleged poverty franchise. There are no poverty franchises in baseball. They're making them all look bad and leading towards the inevitable civil war among the owners. The constituents in these other towns should hold owners accountable. Wouldn't that be great? San Diego is the 28th largest television market. The way things work, we know by now that these sports teams are television shows. And based on your TV market, you can sell more in advertising. So San Diego's the 28th biggest TV market. Now, for comparison, the Cincinnati Reds are in number 34. So they're a little bit smaller than San Diego. Cincinnati's the number 34 media market. Baltimore is a bigger market than San Diego, 26. Pittsburgh is 23rd. Miami is number 16. You wouldn't know that from the way the Marlins operate. The Oakland Athletics in the Bay Area, part of the San Francisco-Oakland market, the number 6 market, top 6 market in the United States. The Padres' payroll is 4th in baseball behind only the Metropolitans, the Yankees, and the Phillies, ahead of the Dodgers. And the A's, for comparison's sake, the A's, their payroll is at $40.9 million, which is dead last. The Padres' payroll in the 28th biggest media market compared to the Athletics, who play in the 6th biggest media market with the Giants, the Padres' payroll is 81.6% higher than Oakland's payroll. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.